Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Stock Guy 22. Wanted to review some of these charts as we closed last week, and I wanted to wait till the open this morning just to see where we're heading. Looks like we're holding up pretty good. We bounced a little bit off the low so far. Let's start with the Dow Industrial here. As you can see, we were slightly below the 200-day last week. We've had a tremendous drop from that resistance where we talked about it before. Okay, so the last time we had done this video, I was talking about resistance. Okay, so as you can see right here, we had done like a triple top, and I said that 13.3 was a key level to watch. We had broken above temporarily, then fell right back. We haven't had more than one green day up, as you can see. So the last 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 out of the last 13 days have been red, as you can see here. And we dropped right towards a critical support level, but just below the 200-day. We did that back in November as well, before the push up. You can see we stayed underneath it for a few days, started to come back up. We'd like to see this week a push back up. So say we came back up towards 12.477 there. So about 12.5, that would be pretty good, and we can hold above that 12.4, 12.3 this week. Okay, so really what we want to see is previous resistance now becoming support. So you can see if we go all the way back here, that takes us up to October, November. Okay, and you can see this was it was having a tough time around this area. Now it's becoming support on the way down. We actually don't want to go much further down than this. If we did, we'd be looking at around this 11.8 area, as you can see here, okay, and then down towards the November lows and then the October 4th lows, okay. So that's the two big stepping drops down on support, okay. If we bounced up, obviously we'd have some resistance initially at the 200-day, and then we'd be looking at the 50-day and 20-day. The red line is the 20-day. The pink line here is the 50-day, which would take us up to about 13,000. So 12.9 to 13. So as you can see, if we do get a push up, we can expect like a multi-day green action, sort of like what we had here. So we'd like to see like a V-shaped bounce forming, like this. Okay. So let the market tell you what it wants to do, but this is what I'd be looking for this week. If we did hold up, had some green days coming in, and then looking for resistance initially around 12.5. If we hit into that resistance and fall back again, that wouldn't be good. Okay, we'd actually want to start closing above 12.477 there, so about 12.5. Okay, makes sense. So you can see we can go up 400 to 500 more points up from there. Okay, from here it's about 600, 500 and 600 points up. Okay, so that's for the Dow. Let's go to the Nasdaq. You can see very similar here on the Nasdaq, and let me just take a screenshot so I can make some notes. One thing we realize on both is the fact that we are getting oversold down here. Okay, as you can see there, times that we have been oversold, we've had some decent bounces. Okay, so you can see there in November, December, even in March. It wasn't much of a drop, and in April we had a slight bounce, and now in May. So we really need to come back up over this 20 level. Okay, anything under 20 here is oversold situation. Anything above 100 is overbought. Now it doesn't mean that you can't continue up. You can see what happened here. We continued up above 80, so 80 is overbought, 20 is oversold. Okay, you can be overbought for longer period of time and continue up, but we knew we were getting a bit pricey up here too. Okay, you can see, not unlike the Dow that did some double top, triple top action, we only went up a little bit more here to 3,100. A lot of that was Apple, because Apple didn't continue going up as strong, but very similar. We're just below the 200-day right now. Okay, as you can see here, the green line represents the 200-day simple moving average. So it just takes the average of the past 200 days to give us that that average. So you can see if we come back up, we want to be up above that 28.25 area. Okay, as you can see here, our next level down would be about 2700, and our previous resistance has become a little bit of support so far. Okay, and the Nasdaq is holding up so far a little bit. It's in the green right now, about 6 points as I'm doing this video. Okay, so really what we want to see is a push back up and get like a multi-day push to the upside. We've had a tremendous drop as well on here. Okay, ever since that that March high that we had hit. Okay, we had a little push up into that April, but then from May on we've been dropping back. Okay, so that's the levels I'd be watching for this. If we pushed up, we'd be looking 2950 to 3000. Okay, and that would cover some of that gap as well that we had going into May. Okay, further up 3100, and then that 3129. Let me see the exact number up there. Looking at 3134. Okay, but more importantly, these levels here, we want to get back up towards these moving averages. Okay, the 20 and 50 day. Let's go to next chart. Here's the SPY. Again, very, very similar to the Dow. Okay, and the Nasdaq. The fact that didn't quite hit the high from April. Okay, but in May there we did another double top, as you can see here. Like it topped out and then fell back just over that 141 area that we hit. Okay, so again, taking a quick screenshot. So understanding support and resistance is really critical in trading. Okay, you can see it. There's a lot of pain last week. You can see it on the Twitter thread. If you're reading Twitter, you're reading message boards, you'll see a lot of people having a lot of the same emotions, starting to panic, thinking about getting out of the market again. Okay, you can see that we want to try and stay above this 129 area, 130. Okay, again, that was our previous resistance. If we did continue lower, we'd be looking around this level here. Okay, for the next level of support, which isn't too far down, which is pretty good. Okay, on the way up, again, we'll be looking at on the higher end 136 to 138, but initially look for resistance right into here, right into our 200-day. Okay, so around at 131.5. If we can clear that level and have a few multi-green days, would be pretty good. As you can see, even on the way down here, not much green action, with the exception of that move into the end of April. Okay, and again, oversold. Okay, and you can see the times that we've been oversold. We haven't stayed there very long. Okay, and we've bounced up pretty quick. Okay, so that's one thing to note, that's a good sign that we're seeing across the board. So where are we right now? Instead of the last time when we did the video, we're not at resistance, we're into support areas. So it is a good time to start picking up some positions, especially with tight stops. Even some of these dividend plays are a good strategy. Okay, and that's what we've been focusing in on. I'll go through a few other charts. Let me go through Apple, which a lot of people ask me about. Now last week we had hit right into that 38% retrace. As you can see here, I had done a fib levels from November, which was our low. Okay, I didn't take it from the October 4th lows. I took it just for the most recent run, which was right when we hit the 200-day, pushed right up. As you can see, on the way up, we had very few red days. We didn't have more than 2 in a row. As you can see here, we had 3 here. But on the way up, it was very, very strong. Okay. Now what are we having? We're having the total complete opposite reaction here. We're not getting very many green days in a row. We're only getting one here, one here, one here, one here. Okay. Today we are coming up a little bit. We're over 537. So we're above the 38% retrace. And that's where I was expecting to look for some support. We actually had started some bullish positions on options last Friday. And last week we actually did very well because we were taking this level into account, this 536. We were above 550, and we said last week if we dropped under 550, you would have seen my tweets, that we could have hit towards 535 area. Okay, and that's exactly where we hit, the 535, 536. Okay, so we went slightly below, Made some money on some options last week, and now we're looking for a bounce up. If we do bounce, as you can see, we haven't had many multi-day up days. Okay, we'd look for that. We'd look for the key levels being hit: 540, 550, that 570, 590. Okay, so if we do get some good up action this week, we could get to 570 to 590 very, very quickly. Okay, and we're definitely due. As you can see here, we'd like to see this type of action again setting up. Like a nice V-shaped bounce would be very good. Okay, you can see it could take us right up to these levels again. Okay, so getting oversold. We got some people that got out of positions. You got some hedge funds that got out of it as well. And I'm thinking that we bounce from here, so I'm positioning that way as well. If it looks like we're going to fall back, we could actually get down. If we went further down, we could get down towards that 500. 480 to me would be a screaming buy. The 200-day has been in a major, major support area on Apple, and I'll show you on the chart itself for those of you that follow it. I've taken advantage of the 200-day both last year into the summer there, last summer. Okay, and you can see we very rarely don't bounce off the 200-day. The only time that we were down under the 200-day was back through that crisis in 08-09. And even then, we dropped back, key level towards that $100 level, and just slightly below towards 80 and 90, and then recovered right away. So the 200-day to me has been a major level. Even during the flash crash day, we actually dropped right back down and came right back up. Okay, so the 200-day will be a major level if we had continuation down, and that would be if something worse happened with Greece going into June, okay, into those June elections. Okay, that's very possible. So keep in mind that don't think Apple can't go any further. We're at support now, at support area now, but if it did continue lower, that's where we'd be looking at. But to me, that would be a screaming buy there, and I wouldn't mind positioning better with the options. So again, we're just going with weekly options, but if we got down here, I'd go further out, so maybe into the monthly options and slowly move up with it as well. Okay. Now the other one that wanted to review was Facebook.